Hey y'all, it's MichaleMercedes and I am back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a nursing school Q&A based off questions that I received on Instagram, through DMs, through polls. So make sure you stay tuned for these questions. So yeah, let's get started. The first question is, how did I balance school and life? I did a horrible job balancing school and life because let me tell you, I trapped myself in my apartment 4 days studying. I barely got out the house, and I'm talking about this all throughout like first semester and stuff. But I realized that I ended up burning myself out, and I realized that I had to change my habits. So I made sure that every week that I was like going out to eat at least twice a week with my girlfriend, like on a date, or we would go to the movies once a week. So I just made sure that I was incorporating other things into my lifestyle just to give myself a breather. But I know I could have incorporated a lot more self-care, and that's one thing that I wish that I did do. Now, although I did do a horrible job following a schedule, I would definitely recommend that because I've seen people in my cohort get so much done. They've gone out to parties, they've literally gone to festivals, they were still able to study, go out drinking with their friends, go out partying, and somehow they were still getting 8 hours of sleep, waking up at a good time, working out. So I would definitely say pushing yourself towards following a schedule if you are that kind of person. I know for me, it didn't work out like that, but I've definitely seen it possible. So my second question, I pretty much answered it in the first one, but how did I manage my time? I really didn't, but I did make sure that I had all my assignments turned in on time. I always turned everything before the deadlines. And one thing that was really helpful throughout that process was making sure that I had a planner and a calendar. I used to have a planner that opened up as a book where they have like the dates and they have like tasks and stuff in there, but I stopped using that, and I found a calendar, or not a calendar, but a planner at Staples that was one of those rip out ones. So it had like the whole week on this one page, but you could rip it off and throw it away, and then you'd be on the next week. And that was super helpful because I was able to just have what I needed right in front of my face instead of me having to like open a book and try and find the page. So I really liked that kind of planner. I also made my own personal check-off list to where all my classes were set up in a row on a piece of paper, and I had all the assignments due for each week of each month, and then I would just have like a check-off list. I'll show you guys that in a different video. It's kind of hard to explain, but I always made sure that I had some type of system to where I could check myself off to make sure that I got my assignments done, got my projects done, and that was super helpful. So my next question is, it just says study tips. So this is gonna be very like to the point. I'm gonna do a more extended video on this, but study tips in general, I would say, for me, PowerPoints helped me out. I didn't crack open any books because I felt like I was learning way too much information because there was just so much additional information that I didn't need to know for the test, and I didn't want to retain unnecessary information. So I stuck to PowerPoints. I made sure that I was rewriting my notes, highlighting my notes, using a lot of color for retention. For certain classes, I made note cards. For other classes, I didn't make note cards because they weren't helpful. But for classes like pharmacology and pathophysiology, I definitely had note cards. I also made flowcharts and diagrams for certain classes. I was consistently using RN Mentor for ATI. I used Kathy Parks for ATI. I made sure that I was using Picmonic, and there's another site called NRS or NRSG, but they have a lot of good information on like pharmacology and how to remember mnemonics and everything. That helped me out tremendously. I did stick to a schedule to where I broke up my study information into chunks. So say I had a test coming up next week, I would make sure that if I had to know 6 chapters, I would break each day leading up into the exam into a chapter instead of me trying to like cram all the material in one day. So I would give myself a week and a half before I started studying for an exam, and on that day before the exam, I would just review everything that I learned over the span of a week and a half. Okay, number 4 is surviving nursing school. How did I survive nursing school? Prayer. No, but for real. I think having a good support system. My family was very supportive. My girlfriend was absolutely supportive. She was there every step of the way. when I had my meltdowns, when I had my breaking points, she was there. So making sure that you have a support system. And if you don't, I think it's helpful to make sure you build some type of relationships within your class or your cohort. Having a group me was very, very helpful for me, because those days that I forgot about certain assignments or due dates, people were talking about them. They were like, y'all, did you guys finish the project for next week? Or they would ask questions about certain projects or assignments. And 9 times out of 10, I had those same exact questions. The people in your cohort are the only ones who understand the process, the stress, the many sleepless nights, those moments when we were all venting and having meltdowns and breakdowns. Like, everybody understood each other, because yeah, your family is there, but they're not going through the process with you. Your friends are there for you, but they're not going through the process with you. So I think that was really good on my mental state, because there was a lot of times where I thought I was about to drop out. 2 other things that helped me survive nursing school was, well, one of them I already mentioned, but it was having a planner or a calendar to mark down deadlines. And the other thing was making sure that I went to instructors whenever I needed help, because 9 times out of 10, they are the ones writing the exam. So why not go to the source for questions? Number 5 is 2 pieces of advice for my senior self. 1, don't stress that much. I know it's easier said than done, but now looking back at it, I really think that I overstressed about graduating. I wish I would have enjoyed more of my senior year rather than stress, because I'm realizing that the stress didn't do anything. Another thing I would say is getting together your references soon, because although I was very fortunate enough to get in contact with my previous preceptors and instructors and was able to speak with them, I could have made this process a lot easier by contacting them right when the semester started, so that I could have just gotten the ball rolling with my jobs and applications and stuff. So make sure you jump on that stuff early. Leading into question number 6, which is funny. The next question was, or is, when to apply for jobs. I started applying for I started applying for jobs 2 months before graduation. So I graduated in December, and then I started applying for jobs the end of September/October. So that gave me 2 months to hear something back from somebody, which was really helpful, and it made my graduation process a lot less stressful. I went to like 2 or 3 hiring expos, and I was able to get my foot in the door early. After attending hiring expos, I heard back from jobs within 2 weeks. So make sure that you're jumping on that early. I would definitely recommend doing it before graduation and before you take your ATI comprehensive exam. Question number 7 has to do with jobs in school. I already answered this in my previous ABSN video. If you haven't seen it already, make sure you check it out, because there's probably a lot of questions in this video that you're probably curious about that I've already answered before. But I did not have a job throughout any of nursing school, but I did have a lot of people in my cohort that did have like 2, 3 jobs, and they did amazing throughout the program. Question number 8, did I have to retake any classes? No, I did not have to take any classes, but I came close to retaking classes. The 3 classes that I almost had to retake were acute and chronic, maternity, and complex critical care. Y'all, complex critical care, oh my gosh, I almost thought I wasn't gonna graduate because of that class. Question number 9, how did I practice self-care, or what were my self-care practices? Did not do a good job at practicing self-care throughout nursing school, but if I did have to incorporate them, I would definitely, for myself personally, I would probably go to like a painting class or like a sip and paint class, because I love art. I probably would have went to like some yoga or meditation classes. I probably would have gotten more massages. Probably would have went out more. Probably would have went to dance class more. I probably would have went to more festivals, because I love festivals. I am like a festival queen. So yeah, I would have definitely planned out my schedule a lot better, but it didn't happen, y'all. I'm gonna just be honest and I'm gonna be transparent, because I don't want people to think that nursing school was just this huge breeze and that I didn't have any problems. This has been a crazy journey for me. Yeah, I mean, it's all dependent on each person, but I definitely did not practice self-care. Okay, and my last question is number 10. What were my top challenges of nursing school? Okay, for one, I would say adjusting to a schedule. And this was hard because every semester it was different. Even halfway through a semester, the schedule would change because we'd have new classes, we might have a new clinical, new rotation. So it was definitely a huge adjustment. Another challenge was sleep, getting like a good amount of sleep because I had these changes in my schedule. I remember throughout most of the program, my clinicals were throughout the day, but when I had my senior practicum, I had night shift. I had clinical hours from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And that took like a huge toll on my body. So, and then also having to attend class with that was a lot. Another thing I would say was just like finding myself in general, because it's like when you go throughout these programs, you get so stuck in the material, in the content, and just passing that you lose part of yourself because you might not be scheduling that time for yourself. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't hesitate to leave any comments in the comment section. If you guys want to DM me personally on Instagram, it's the same as my YouTube channel name. And there's also a link on my channel to my Instagram. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on that notification bell if you want to stay updated on more videos. I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.